Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Far From Pro podcast. I am your host, Evan Walsh, and with me is the man, the myth, the legend, Joseph Meyer. How are we doing today, Joseph? Talk to me. We had a great last weekend. It's a little bit of a late recording, but it was great football, fun to watch. What were you up to last weekend, Joseph? Did you have a good weekend?
Yeah, it was good. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that watching these playoffs is not a little tough for me, especially, given the circumstances of what's occurred for my team. But it's still entertaining. I'm super pumped for this weekend, though, and I hope once we get into it, you'll see why. Because, wow, I've got some exciting stuff to lay down for you. And this is going to be a great weekend of football. The NFL storyline builders that are pulling out these matchups. I mean, come on now. We got Bengals-Chiefs, the rematch of last year. All this narrative, Bengals-Chiefs, who's better, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow. We'll get into that later. And then you got the kid over there, Brock Purdy, going against Jalen Hurts and the Eagles, who everybody says are stacked now. Can the rookie pull it off? Or are the Eagles going back to the Super Bowl with a new coach and a new quarterback in the first time in like 5 years? So it's gonna be an exciting weekend, Evan. What are you looking forward to most?
I think you said it best, just the storylines. I think now, Joseph, we're turning into a new generation of football. Back when we were growing up, it was the Tom Brady's, the Peyton Mannings, the Manning brothers, I should really say, the Phillip Rivers. Like, that's what we grew up on, is those type of quarterbacks. Andrew Luck's, like the people who really, those are the quarterbacks we grew up on. Now we're finding this new generation of the Burrows, the Mahomes, the Allens, the hopefully soon to be Lamar Jacksons. Like, just keep coming on and on. Like, obviously the Bengals and Chiefs being the AFC Championship 2 years in a row, the Bills getting in there. Like, it is kind of turning to be the same teams. I understand that, but I agree with you. I couldn't agree with you more. And all these quarterbacks have swag. Like, Joe Burrow, for some reason, finds a way to say the right things in every interview. Like, every response he's ever had in an interview is so cool and just so perfect. Like, it just comes out of his mouth just perfectly. And it's the exact perfect response where you're like, okay, yeah, this guy's cool. Like, he understands football. Love Joe Burrow. I like Mahomes and I like Josh Allen too, but just this whole swagger of these quarterbacks and the way they play the game, it's completely different. It's super fun to watch. So I honestly, for me, my most exciting part, I can't wait to watch this Niners-Philly game. I can't wait to see how Brock Purdy does. Going into the link, into Philadelphia, going against the stud Philadelphia defense. I'm excited to see how he does. He's a rookie quarterback. Let's see what he can do. He can Mr. Irrelevant turn himself into Mr. Irrelevant. Who knows? It'll be fun to see. It will.
Just would be completely wild. All right, let's dive into the matchups. Let's get straight into it, Evan. All right, the first one, Eagles, 49ers. You said it all. The kid rolling into the link. He may die if he wins. I wouldn't want to go into Philly and try to be a rookie and play there. Those people are crazy out there in Philly. Who you got for this matchup, Evan?
Yeah, so for me, honestly, looking at it, I was torn. I was torn between these two teams because I want to see Brock Purdy win and carry this team because I love Christian McCaffrey, him coming from the Panthers, getting an opportunity to be this far in the playoffs. George Kittle, he just has fun when he plays football. He's so freaking fun to watch. You can't not like the guy. The question for me is this this Jalen Hurts team and Nick Sirianni, which, by the way, might be one of the cringiest coaches in football. Thank God he's so, obviously very good. You can't really say much. You can really do what you want if you're a good coach. But to me, overall, if I had to pick this team, gun to my head, pick between the teams, I'm going to go the Philadelphia Eagles. I just think in the link, in Philly, where they're so comfortable, they've been playing phenomenal all year long. It's been super fun to watch them. I think Jalen Hurts and this team is loaded up. And also, this team had 70 sacks this year, which I'm pretty sure when I looked at it, the second best team was 15 lower than that. This defense is a completely different defense than what he's seen all year. I know that Cowboys defense really gave him trouble last week. If any other quarterback besides Dak Prescott, who just was turning the ball over and not playing good, was playing last week, I think the Cowboys are beating the Niners. So to me, it's if that defense can slow him down, I think this Eagles defense is even better. I think Purdy's going to have some problems, especially in a hostile environment like Philadelphia. easily the most hostile environment in like all of sports. So to me, that's going to play a big factor, and so that's who I see winning. How about you, Joseph? What do you got for this game?
See, I disagree with you on the Nick Sirianni thing. I think he's done an incredible job this year. Everyone says the Eagles are such a stacked roster. No one was really saying that going into the year. That tells me that the general manager did a good job, and the coach did a good job, and the quarterback did a good job. Because to say, oh, they're so stacked, well, nobody thought they were. We knew the Niners were stacked coming into the year. We did not think the Eagles were this stacked. They've got a great roster. They've got like 8 Pro Bowlers and 7 Pro Bowl alternates. It's not going to matter, I think, because I think they're going to reach a Super Bowl. Evan, I picked the 49ers to go to the Super Bowl. They were my Super Bowl pick before the playoffs started. I got to be honest with you. I'm changing that pick, baby. I'm changing that pick. I have been rolling with the Eagles all year long. I picked them to go 13-4. I picked them to be number 1 seed. I picked them to obliterate the Giants last week, which they did. Why stop rolling with them now? They've been doing nothing but good things for me. I'm even wearing my Eagles green today, Evan. I'm even wearing my Eagles green. I think the Philadelphia Eagles welcome the 49ers into the link and send them packing, heading to the Super Bowl. It doesn't matter how many Pro Bowlers the Eagles have because they're going to the big game, baby. I've got the E-A-G-L-E-S Eagles. Let's go.
Yeah. So, a few things on that. One, I love it because I do think the Eagles are going to give the 49ers problems, make the Super Bowl. But you know who I'm going with. I'm going with the Bengals all day. I gotta stick with them. I'm gonna stay rolling with them to win. Not only get to the Super Bowl, but win the Super Bowl. I had the Bucs going far. We won't get into that, but I truly do believe that this Eagles team is not only dominant, but they are unbelievably talented, unbelievably loaded, and that's who I got beating the 49ers. I got them beating the 49ers too. And I think Joseph, that change of pick. And for those of you who don't know, you can go look at the TikTok. I'm sure Joseph has it pinned. He actually predicted the Eagles go 13-4 earlier in the season, before the season even started. So if you want to go check that out, feel free to go check it out. But to me, this Eagles team it's destiny. You know, and Nick Sirianni deserves it. This Philadelphia city deserves it. But Joseph, there's one more game this weekend: Bengals, Chiefs, and some would say Burrowhead. As Chris Jones himself would say, Burrowhead. We don't need to talk about that, Mr. Chris Jones. But how do you feel about this game? For not only Mahomes or Joe Burrow, how do you feel?
See, a lot of people are on the Bengals here, and there's been a little bit too much trash talk prior to the game here, right? Like the mayor of Cincinnati getting involved, the Burrowhead, Mahomes, Burrow's Mahomes' dad. I would recommend, as someone who's talked crap about the Chiefs many a times, and it didn't turn out well for me, I would recommend not, trashing on the Chiefs because, man, they don't take too kindly to that. And the Bengals were favored for a little bit. I think the Chiefs are back now to being favored. But, man, even Mahomes on a bum ankle, I would not be talking this early. After the game, if the Bengals win this game and Burrow's 4-0 against Mahomes, the narratives are going to go crazy. I still think Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league, regardless of what happens in this game. I don't think you can say that just because Burrow's beat him 4 times. But, man, there will be people who do. And that will be the narrative that Mahomes just can't get to the big game. He can't get through Burrow. Burrow's the Tom Brady and Mahomes is whoever else because he can't get past him. So that narrative will be there. I don't agree with it. It will be funny. I'm all NFC this Super Bowl. I can't root for either of these teams because of my prior, allegiances. I've had fan bases of both of these teams talk, tremendous amounts of trash to me and my quarterback. And yes, my quarterback might not be as good as these quarterbacks, but it's just out of pocket. So I can't cheer for either of these teams. Obviously not going to cheer for the Chiefs. So it's kind of a toss-up for me. I'm going to go with the Chiefs, though. I'm going to go with the Chiefs. I think they finally get over that bug that they can't beat Burrow. It's at Arrowhead. It's always at Arrowhead, so maybe that's not that big of a deal. The Chiefs really have never got to play this underdog card, though, man. Like, the Chiefs can kind of say they're counting us out. When was the last time people said that about the Chiefs? Like, when was the last time the public was kind of all on another team? I think Andy Reid and those boys will get them fired up. if I'm the Chiefs, I'm playing the underdog. They don't believe in us. They think the Bengals can just march in there and just take their way to the Super Bowl again. Not so fast, not so fast. The Bengals have been playing this card the whole playoffs, right? We've been disrespected. Now I think the Chiefs are getting a little bit of disrespect, and I think they turn that into a win, Evan.
I like that a lot. I like that prediction a lot. My only thing with the Chiefs, and I said this earlier in the week to a couple people I knew, I said if Patrick Mahomes was fully healthy, this game is a complete and utter just toss-up. Patrick Mahomes can come in there and easily dominate in his own Arrowhead. Joe Burrow could come in and dominate. He's done it before in Arrowhead. That's why I call it Burrowhead. I think Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes is honestly the best football to watch right now. My only issue is Patrick Mahomes just got a high ankle sprain. A high ankle sprain is a 4 to 6 week injury you're supposed to be out for. So he's expected to come in next week in the cold and just say, screw it, I'm going to go and try and beat and win the AFC Championship against one of the best teams in football. That's tough. And that ankle is going to linger, and that ankle is going to hurt him, and it's going to slow him down. And whether or not he's tough or this guy, I understand Patrick Mahomes is very tough. He's a very talented player, but still, that is a very, very severe injury. And for him just to think he can just go out there and just be 100% and be able to run around and do his own thing, maybe he will. Maybe Patrick Mahomes is really that unbelievable, and he can just go out there and be his formal self, sit on that, because it's his right foot too, which is his back foot, which is the one he's throwing off of. That affects him a lot. Who knows? But to me, that's a big enough injury. I don't know if that could necessarily... he's going to need it all to go against his Bengals defense, which is playing unbelievable, by the way, these past couple games. And not only that, he's going to have to rely on his Chiefs defense to slow down Burrow and those Bengals, which is a lot. That's a lot to ask because that team is absolutely loaded. And that offense is led by an unbelievable quarterback. Zach Taylor has been phenomenal all year long. I seriously think... this is a great matchup. I mean, obviously Andy Reid is Andy Reid. You can't go wrong with him. Travis Kelce, who's easily the best tight end, could be possible best pass catcher in football. To me, this is an unbelievable matchup, and whatever narrative you have of Joe Burrow, this, Patrick Mahomes, that, we need to just appreciate the fact that we were able to get to see this unbelievable great football, which is it's amazing. It's so perfect. It's so what we need right now. It's amazing, and let's just appreciate it because we have this week and then the Super Bowl, and then there's not football on for months. So let's just enjoy this game, watch it, sit there, eat food, drink, whatever you got to do. I don't care. Enjoy this football game. Bet on it. Do whatever you got to do to enjoy it. But this is going to be a great football game. I think we just need to sit and enjoy it. I really do.
I love that take. That's an incredible take, Evan. Because so often nowadays every game has to mean something for someone's legacy, right? If you lose in the play, Josh Allen went from being one of the most dynamic quarterbacks in the league to just being a bum. He's just horrible now. He can't make any throws. Stephon Diggs is out. The Bills are just horrible. Tear it all down. When 5 weeks ago, man, they were, before the Damar Hamlin stuff, they were, Super Bowl favorites and everyone was just loving on him. So, yeah, I agree with you there. That's not going to stop people from making this about narrative and legacy, which is going to be hilarious. I mean, sports talk on Monday morning is going to be incredible, regardless of what happens, because the narrative will be out of control. I love the take. Enjoy the greatness. I will be enjoying the greatness of Brock Purdy and Jalen Hurts as well, because those are two future Hall of Famers. And I don't know about Mahomes or Burrow, but Brock Purdy's definitely first ballot. So we got 4 Hall of Fame quarterbacks this weekend. I just love it.
Incredibly hot take there. The slight on Mahomes and Burrow is just that's
they counted out Brady. They counted out Brady. They said he wouldn't be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong, Joseph. I mean, you're not wrong. But to me, again, let's just appreciate great football. Let's appreciate what we get to watch. And to me, I mean, as much as football is going on, as much as we're trying to squeeze as much football as we can out of everybody, let's just appreciate that we do have great basketball going on. Hence why I'm wearing the Denver Nuggets sweatshirt, currently the number 1 team in the West.
Yes, sir.
Sorry about it. A very dominant franchise, very full of talent, very full of skilled players, coached well. A team that really in the NBA should be terrified of. Yes, there's the Celtics. Yes, there's the Bucks. I don't doubt that. The Nets with Katie and Kyrie is dangerous, but I am sorry. You don't have anyone that can stop Jokic. You don't have anyone that can get that trio of Jokic, Porter. And Porter hasn't really been playing too well this year. He's having an okay season. But let's just throw in the help of KCP, which a lot of people doubted on him, saying he wasn't that good. Unbelievable 3-and-D player for his team. Oh, yeah, by the way, Aaron Gordon at our power forward, which has been playing way better than he has been at Orlando or any other team he's ever played on in his life. He's been playing out of his freaking mind, playing defensively, rebounding, scoring. He's doing everything for us, which no one expected. We have an unbelievable bench coming out with Bruce Brown, which, by the way, great pickup from the Nets. I mean, overall, we are just absolutely dominant and loaded. If we can stay healthy and keep like this, I don't see a team stopping us this year. I'm really not going to get into all that. Whoop-de-fucking-do. At the end of the day, like, it's just about who thinks they can stop us, which no one can. And to be quite frank, the only really teams that you could find me being afraid of is you could say the Celtics or the Bucks. They are a very well-rounded, talented roster, but at the end of the day, they're going to have to beat us in 7 games, which who knows? I mean, that's what's going to make these NBA playoffs fun. I mean, overall, NBA basketball, if you go around the league, it's been fun to watch. The East and the West is very competitive. Grizzlies have become the NBA young boy of the NBA. Everyone thinks they're a rival with them because they're just savages, trash-talking, super fun to watch. You got the Lakers who are still dog crap because Anthony Davis refuses to play because he's always injured. But when he does play, he's like a Greek god. So, like, to me, it's hit or miss. And overall, I mean, basketball is just fun to watch, so don't let, and that's what's going to be coming up here soon, so make sure to sneak that into your schedules, into your weeknights, catch a few NBA games. Just throwing that out there for the people, you know?
Yeah. Dude, it's great to see the change in the Western Conference this year. We've got smaller market teams, the Grizzlies, the Nuggets, the Kings, the Pelicans. Like, these teams are playing well right now, and then the Lakers are just garbage. So it's so good it's so refreshing, Evan, because nobody wants to see these bigger market teams. Everyone wants to see the young team, the fun team. I love just chirping NBA players on the court. Is that what we do now? We just, like, Shannon Sharp is like going crazy and just yelling at players. I love it. It's the Grizzlies. Like, nobody cared about the Grizzlies 10 years ago. Like, I love to see it. Jokic, unbelievable, bro. Like, just watching him is beautiful. It just makes your eyes, like, it's like the opposite of watching the Lakers. It just makes your eyes, instead of, burn, it just makes you fall in love. 3 straight MVPs. It's going to be incredible because I guarantee you next year, no way he wins 4, and he's going to come out the gate. So he might win every MVP for the rest of his career because he is the best player in basketball because there's no one like him. There's no one like him. I'm excited for the NBA. It's once football, ends, and then you're kind of like, oh, football's over, and then NBA starts ramping up right away. Then there's March Madness, and then we've got Evan. I know you're a big fan. We've got two alternate football leagues this year. We've got the USFL and the XFL this year. Aren't you excited? I know you love your spring football. I know that's just one of your favorite things. You've gone on this podcast before and said how much you just enjoy watching these XFL and USFL teams, right?
I've had my opinions and I've said what I've said, but at the end of the day, here's what it is. I realize I've said what I've said, and I've had my opinions on certain things, but here's what I look at it as. I, one, see it as plenty of exposure for a lot of guys now, and 2, I also see it as just more football. Like, during the spring and summer times, it is hard to find and watch sports. It is. When football is not on, basketball's starting to slow down, it is harder to watch sports. When you get those occasional spring football games, those occasional exposures, it's fun to watch. And to me, like, I don't know. But back to the NBA. I think the NBA this year has been so underrated. I mean, I get, like, football has just been so fun to watch too, but the way that the NBA has been, how fun it has been to watch, how fun it has been a part of, I think it is, like, I'm telling people, get watching the NBA because everyone's so young too, whether it's Luka and the Mavs, whether even this Jazz team that we thought was going to be dog crap is making a freaking run in the West somehow. It's like these teams, it's unbelievable basketball to watch, and to me it's like, it's so, talent is so spread around. Now you got Donovan Mitchell and the Cavs dominating. Who would have never thought? I mean, Donovan Mitchell's Donovan Mitchell, but which he is a starter in the West now. I mean, not the West, the East. Great for him. He deserves it all. I mean, this has just been fun basketball to watch. And Joseph, I can't wait for me and you to be able to talk about the playoffs. By the way, coming up here, did you know that the Super Bowl is the same weekend as the Waste Management Open in Phoenix? Something that we're going to be able to look forward to talk about for the podcast, and I'm excited to get into that with you, Joseph. So that'll be fun. Anything else you got to talk about here, Joseph? I'm kind of running out of things to discuss.
Well, I got one more NBA thing for you because are we watching the next Michael Jordan here with Anthony Edwards? I mean, come on. Come on, Evan. I mean, the kid's a stud. And I might have a little bit of a hot take here. I think I would rather have Ant over just about every young star in the league, other like young star, other than Luka and Tatum. I think he might be my number 3 there. What about you?
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, God, I don't know. That's tough because there's so much young talent. Definitely not Luka or Tatum. I'd rather have LaMelo. See, my thing with Anthony Edwards is he's a phenomenal scorer, freak athlete. To me, it's just I'm very big on all-around basketball. When I see like players like LaMelo, and if I see him be like, all right, if I can match LaMelo up with a very talented big man, get him a 3-and-D wing next to him, like I can see him being so freaking like all-star, superstar level player, which Anthony Edwards sure can, but we're seeing what this Minnesota Timberwolves team is doing all year. Everyone thought this experiment of getting Rudy Gobert to come over, and now Edwards and D'Lo have 2 big men in Gobert and Towns. I understand Towns has been hurt for a while, so that hurt them, but like this team has not been it's definitely been underwhelming with the way they're performing. And Edwards is having some great games. Edwards in general has been playing here and there pretty phenomenal. I'm not hating on Edwards in any way. I'm just saying, like, for me personally, I'm not saying he's underperforming at all. I'm just as well either. I'm just saying, like, for me personally, I'm looking at all-around talent, all-around basketball skill. And to me, I'd rather have someone like LaMelo Ball. You could even take Trae Young, someone who can pass, score, and do it all. Like, not saying Edwards can't do that, but Edwards is a primary scorer and freak athlete. He's not going to go out there and give 15 assists some games. He's not going to go out there. He's just not that type of player. He's a player that can go out there for 45 points, jump over people, and be a freak athlete, which he has done phenomenally, and has helped the Timberwolves win games. I'm just saying that's how I look at it. Maybe I'm wrong. I think Edwards is a stud, but this Timberwolves team needs to figure it out. It's been a failed experiment all year. I was scared for that Gobert trade, them giving up too much, and to me, like, it wasn't a failed experiment so far until they figure it out. Maybe that's just me, but that's how I feel.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Just a horrible trade. When you have a superstar to build around who one of his best abilities is to get in the lane and absolutely destroy dudes in his way. I mean, he posterizes someone, it seems, every night. I look on my phone every single day and I see Ant just ending a man's career. When you have a superstar that does that, and you already have a big man, and you go out and get another one to crowd up the lane, just horrible management from the Timberwolves. It's a failed experiment. You said it best. But despite that, I think Ant is so good that this team is going to be able to at least compete in a playoff series. I don't think they're going to win one. They could. I think they are good enough because of Ant, and despite the bad management of the team. There's no PBEV, right? So we're not going to have this, celebration over a play-in game. I think they need a little bit of that passion, but I mean, it was so easy, Evan. We saw the Gobert trade going down, and the minute you see it, it's like that is so much to give up for Gobert, who really hasn't done much in his career. So I think despite the bad trade, I think Ant is good enough to carry this team. They got to rework it. Something's got to change because you cannot waste this guy's career and have him pull an Anthony Davis where he leaves after making the playoffs one time in his time in New Orleans. So I agree with you there. Failed experiment. I got one thing for you, Evan, because I don't know if you were paying attention. I went 4 for 4 on my bets last week. Jags covered the spread. Eagles covered the spread. Bengals covered the spread. I did pick the Bills to win, but I thought the Bengals would cover, so I was a little wrong there. And then I picked the 49ers money line, which cashed. So I went 4 for 4. So I thought I might cook up some more for you this week. I'll go 4 more picks for you. There's not 4 games this week, so I'm going to have to do some prop bets. First 2, we already got into it. You could have got the Chiefs plus 1.5 almost. It's down to minus 1.5, so I'm still rolling with the Chiefs. That's a pick 'em anyway, so it's basically the same thing. So I'm taking the Chiefs minus 1.5. I know you're not going to like that because you're, Bengals homer. I think the Chiefs cover there. Eagles minus 2.5. I believe it's what it's at right now. I'm absolutely cashing that. I think they win by maybe a touchdown. I think they could win by a touchdown. And then my prop bets here, Evan. Let me know if you like these. Let me know if you like what I'm cooking up. Joe Mixon anytime touchdown. Okay? That's what I'm rolling with for the Bengals game. And then Jalen Hurts plus 500. I got this. 2 touchdown scores anytime. Those are my prop bets. I think they're all going to cash because I'm on a hot streak. So go put your money on Joe Mixon anytime touchdown and Jalen Hurts two total touchdowns. I love it.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're trying to win money this weekend, hit those 4 bets from Joseph. I'll put those up on the Instagram tomorrow morning so that everyone knows. Everyone can throw those in before the games get started. Joseph, it has been a fun episode to get to you. Ladies and gentlemen, please enjoy the games tomorrow, or I should say today, because when the episode's going to come out. Enjoy the episodes on Sunday. Watch the games. Enjoy football. Enjoy life. Have a great week. We will be back to discuss more, discuss these games, discuss NBA, discuss the life, discuss the world. Joseph, what else do you have? And if nothing, send these people off.
Peace.